What's going on, brother? I figured I'd make you a video going through all the features of the model so you'll know how the model works and why. So here we go, we'll power on. It's actually my second recording. I'm trying to keep it a little shorter.
Switch warning.
I got a switch warning. I'll tell you why that is in a second. What you just seen happen right there was I use these switches right here to kind of control my launch control and my race steering. So I have, if you watch the Joshua Broadwell video, he has the throttle lockout. I use that. I figured that was a good idea. I've just recently burnt my finger on the spur gear. Long story, not important. I mapped everything, channel 1, channel 2 like it's supposed to be. Channel 2 is throttle, so I have to push this, unlocks my throttle. Also turns my LED from red, you'll see here, from red to green. I mean from red to blue, sorry. And this is like my staging slash driving the car back, or, you know, just getting my trim right, whatever, for the track I'm at. And it just gives me 50% throttle. Also has 50% brake. I just, you know, I figured I didn't need much more brake because I'm not driving fast in this setting. Gives me 80% steering. Very little, no expo on the throttle, very little expo on the steering. Like I said, it's just for getting the car trimmed up and driving it back after a pass. Okay, down here, like I said, this switch turns on my dual rate for my steering. You'll see right here, 50% steering, and it has a good bit of expo on it. Not crazy, but it just, you know, so it's not so twitchy, especially in the middle. Also, I think I added a little bit of slow up just to, so that, you know, when you get to driving, it's just like twitchy in the steering. This switch here in the front switch, I have that mapped to turn on my launch control settings. So you'll see here, the reason why I got that switch warning was because I had the launch controls flipped over and this wasn't in setting 1. But my setting 1 is right here. You'll see it starts at, if you watch it, it starts at 30% throttle, then, you know, raises up. So
launch mode.
And I have my second stage really slowed up. That way the car can, you know, gather itself after launching. And, you know, that's the first stage that I kind of trim out of, is the second stage. I'll show you what I'm talking about in a little bit. I got audio and haptic too. As I switch this here, this will take me to my second setting, my second launch control. And it just brings me off the line a little more aggressive and, you know, gets to 100% a little faster. The time is still the same. I keep them exactly the same. I just trim them for each track I go to. But you'll see the first one launched in 30% on the first stage. This one will start at 40. 39, that's a calibration issue, but 39, and then it eases its way up. Same thing, I flip to the last one. You'll notice each time the channel that's controlling channel 2 goes down. So from 5 to 6 to 7.
Launch mode.
That one starts at 50%.
Launch mode.
And then just feeds its way in. Okay, so how I'm doing that is, let me go into the models. My inputs are pretty basic. I got a dual rate on my steering. That's for the switch. Throttle, I'm not even using the trans brake yet. I just haven't mapped it. Here in my mixes, you see I got channel 2. This is my kind of, like I said, staging slash driving the car back throttle setting. Then I have it mapped for, so if you see here, oh, I'm sorry. If you see here, let me scroll that up. When I flip this switch down here, it, you know, illuminates the like I said, the drive back slash staging throttle setting. Then when I flip that on, it immediately goes into launch control 1. That starts at 50% throttle. Then I can flip this launch control 2, launch control 3. That starts at, well, 30, 40, 50, excuse me. If I scroll down here, you'll see the channels that are actually controlling that. So here in channel 5, I have, this is stage 1. You see it says L30. That's because that's what the curve starts at 30% power. This one goes into L50 because it's going from 30 to 50. This one goes from 50 to 75, and the last one goes from 75 to 100. If I click in on one of these mixes, you'll see here, I'm using, I see the curve is mapped to my custom curve. Everything else is pretty much the same. The switch that activates it is L6, and then the multiplex is set to replace. And then you see here, of course, because of which stage this is, it has a slow up. Now if I go back, so that it's the same thing for all three channels. So channel 6 is just a little more aggressive. Channel 7 is the same thing, just a little more aggressive. If I go here to, that's just a little sub trim in my output. I don't do anything else in outputs. Here's my curves. So you see curve 1 is that 30 from 15% throttle, just so I don't get stuck in the prep. I got it at 15% starting, and it goes up to 30. This one starts at 30, goes up to 50. This one starts at 50, goes to 75. This one starts at 75 going to 100. I just named those final, just for simplicity, because I know I had multiple of them. Let me see. I don't think there's anything in the curve itself that is just basically 4-point curve with a name and a custom curve. That's it. There's nothing else changes in here. Let me go back. And then if I page over to my logical switches, so I have the 3 sticky switches right here that just control which launch control I'm on. So that's L01, L02, L03. Those are just controlling which launch control I'm in, so I can switch those on the fly and not have to edit the curves, just trying to keep button pressing down. These here are the actual, so 4 through 7 is my first launch control, the L1. And like if I go here on, like I said, I keep the first one at 0 on delay and 0 on slow up. So that way when I squeeze the throttle, it immediately sends the signal. If you put a delay in here, it won't send the signal. From what I've seen, you have to put the delay in order for the slow up to work. When I first did it, I had the opposite problem what you were having. I put the delay in the logical switches, but with no slow up. So it was literally jumping from 30% to just instantly 50%. It wasn't like easing into that. So that's when I started using the slow up, so it wouldn't just jump immediately from 30 to 50 and from 50 to 70. It would kind of ease within that amount of time from 50, 55, 60, 65, however the, computer is mapping that slow up function. But I did that, and that seemed to work better. So if I go back here, you'll see in this second one, no, actually I showed you the third one in the mixes. So you'll see here, my third one, and that's another thing, I'm sorry. In the delay for the logical switches, you can't just put, if you see, I'll go back and show you my mixes. I have 0.8 seconds for my second stage as the slow up, and I have 0.6 seconds in the third stage for the slow up. And that's just my initial, get on the track, make sure I get down the track, and I eventually, bring those way down to make the car more aggressive in acceleration. But when you're doing the logical switches, you kind of have to add it. You can't just put 0.6, 0.6, 0.6, because it'll just use the first 0.6 and all of the switches activate at the same time. So they don't, what am I saying here? Consecutively delay. They all delay concurrently at the same exact time. So you have to make the second one, because I want a 0.6 delay here, I had to add, my first one is a 0.8, then I add 6, I get the 1.4. I hope you get where I'm coming from with that. So that's my logical switches. These are special functions, are all just dealing with the audio, like it says launch mode, and it gives me haptic feedback, and nothing that controls the actual launch settings themselves. Let me go back to show you what I was talking about far as with the mixes. Like if I scroll back down, so you'll see, like I said, my first one is always just instant, so I get instant throttle reaction from squeezing the trigger, so it's 0 on the slow up. But when I go back here, you'll see this is my second stage. My second stage is set to 0.8 on the slow up. Go back. My third stage is set to 0.6 on the slow up. So that's what I was explaining with the logical switch delay. You kind of got to add them up to get everything to move in unison. Well, you follow me. I apologize. Last thing I'm going to show you is, like I said, once again, just showing you how it looks when you squeeze.
Launch mode.
See, it's E. And of course, you can, make it a little faster, a little slower. Like I said, this is just very conservative to just get me down the track. All the power is getting in there in 2 seconds, which is, guaranteed down the track. And then I just adjust from there. The other thing that I did want to show you was this. This is what I was saying about getting the devs or maybe some AI or something to write a script to map the slow up and the logical switch delay to a global variable, because I have it set up already. I just can't get the global variable to control anything. Well, not the things that I want, but see here, look, I have, this is a trim switch I'm hitting right here. That would be my slow up one. So that would be my slow up for stage one. And I can just, boom, click through it and be able to just edit that on the fly. I just made a pass. I figure I want to take a 10th out. Say I'm at, because like I said, I start with my second stage. So say I'm at 0.8 seconds. Just made a pass. I know I want to get way more aggressive. So I, 2 clicks down. Boom. I can hit another switch. I could map another switch. It would take me to my delay. And boom, 2 clicks down. And now my delay and my slow up is at 0.6 seconds. It would make it to where I don't have to go through all that clicking into the settings and making sure you long press to edit and all that headache there. So if you do get in touch with any devs, or if you get any AI or something to write some script, I think that would be very lucrative to just get that first, or maybe, write a whole launch control, I don't know. But getting those global variable map to the slow up and logical switch delay, I think should be damn near a piece of cake. But check it out, man. Let me know what you think. And hopefully you'll have some feedback that we can make this better, or, maybe yours has something that I need to add to this. We work together, brother, and get fast.